She just didn't know what was out there. She thought her daughter was just playing games. This case has absolutely broken my heart. So today we are talking about Alicia Cristina Navarro, who was born on September 20th, 2004. She lived in Glendale, Arizona with her mom, Jessica Nunez, her stepfather, and her siblings. Alicia was a very happy child, a really cute kid, and her mother absolutely adored her. So Alicia is autistic. However, she has low support needs, but like many autistic people, really preferred to have a set schedule and was very overwhelmed with sudden changes. Alicia also struggled a lot with social anxiety. She preferred to stay at home most of the time, where she was safe in a controlled environment. She also liked to spend a lot of her time online gaming. She loved Minecraft, she loved the whole world of online gaming, and it did give her a sense of social interaction. Alicia started working with a behavioral coach in 2017 to help her manage the challenges of school, making friends, and her mom Jessica always encouraged her daughter to be more social.
My relationship with my daughter is very special. I'm the one who took her to therapies, to appointments. I was always there when she had challenges.
So in fall of 2013, Alicia just started her new school when she got into Brigade Catholic High School in Phoenix, along with several of her friends. But it was very overwhelming. It was a big change. And so on September 13th, 2019, her mom told her that she could stay home because Alicia woke up just feeling really anxious and didn't want to go to school. And her mom was always all about her having mental health days. So they agreed she would stay home that Friday. Alicia spent most of the day at home in her room. The next day, Saturday the 14th, Alicia and her mom went out together for a little date day. They got Alicia's eyebrows threaded, and then they also went to the chocolate store. Jessica said nothing unusual happened that day. It seemed like a perfectly normal afternoon together.
I did not notice anything unusual. She was very happy. I did hear conversations, or actually not conversations, but laughs from upstairs.
Around 1 a.m., Jessica was going upstairs and Alicia was going downstairs, and they kind of bumped into each other, and Alicia seemed surprised that her mom was still awake. Jessica went to bed shortly after that, and her husband fell asleep in the living room in front of the TV. And then Jessica woke up the next morning around 7 a.m. and started making breakfast for the family. But when she went downstairs, she noticed that the back door was slightly open. And she didn't think too much of it at first. She thought maybe her husband forgot to close it all the way, and it turns out he hadn't been outside. So they started getting concerned, and that's when he went upstairs to check on Alicia and found out that she wasn't in her room. Jessica then walked into the backyard and saw bricks and chairs stacked up against the fence and footprints on the ground in front of it. They frantically looked around the entire house, and Alicia was not there. She'd also taken her cell phone and her MacBook with her and didn't bring the chargers, so it seemed like she thought she would be coming back. So of course Jessica is panicked at this point. She calls 911 and reports her daughter missing. The officers got a list of phone numbers and addresses for her friends and left the house to go look for her. The next day, Jessica went into Alicia's room to try to look for any clues. Maybe she left behind a note or something, and it turns out she did. It says, "I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry. Alicia." But I asked her mom if she thought she wrote it, and she said that she definitely does believe her daughter wrote the note herself. So she brought this note into the police, and so now they know that she is a runaway, most likely. And Jessica had to beg them to put out a silver alert. She knew that it was vital that they get Alicia's face and name out there as much as possible. But Jessica felt like they weren't doing enough, so she decided to take matters into her own hands. And she did end up finding footage that showed a white truck entering the neighborhood and then shortly after leaving the neighborhood, and it was around the time that they believe Alicia left the house. They looked closer at the shoe prints in the backyard, and they matched Alicia's shoes, so they know that she was for sure the one walking out, and they didn't see any other footprints with her. And it's possible that Alicia stacked all those chairs and bricks and left through the backyard instead of the front yard because she wanted to avoid possible surveillance. And that makes you wonder if anyone was coaching her through this. So the last time that Alicia was online was at 3:26 a.m. on September 15th. And somewhere between then and when Jessica woke up at 7 a.m., Alicia must have left the house. And with the evidence that they had, investigators had no reason to believe that someone took her out of the house or that she left with someone else. It seems like she left on her own. There was no sign of struggle, no sign that said a stranger had come through the house, no footprints or anything like that. So there was a potential sighting of Alicia 4 days after she first went missing. She was apparently seen by one of her siblings' friends around 4 in the afternoon on September 19th. And the kid who saw her said that she was with an older man with tattoos and darker skin. Alicia and this man were apparently in La Pradera Park on 39th Avenue in Glendale, which is about 1.5 miles from her home. Unfortunately though, there was no surveillance anywhere near the park or surrounding area. Since Alicia has been missing, she has not used her phone, done anything on social media, or logged into any of the gaming sites that she frequented. Jessica was heartbroken, but she wasn't going to give up. And she would even go out at night. And that's when she realized that there was some really horrible things happening where they lived at night. And sometimes after walking around, she would just be so disturbed that she wouldn't even be able to go to sleep, thinking her daughter was out in all of this. And during all of this, police are barely sharing any new information with Jessica. And heading into 2020, there were no solid leads. So Alicia did have a Facebook account, but she didn't really use it much anymore. She spent most of her time logged on to different gaming platforms and forums. And Jessica barely knew what Alicia was doing online. Jessica just didn't think that supporting Alicia's special interest of online gaming was going to lead to any trouble. But in the weeks and months leading up to Alicia's disappearance, there were a few subtle changes that Jessica noticed in hindsight. So she didn't notice that some of her requests leading up to her disappearance were a bit unlike her. And eventually she started asking her mom to buy her makeup, which Jessica thought, she's going into high school, there's probably just pressure from other girls wearing makeup. But in hindsight, she worries that someone could have been telling her to wear makeup, or maybe she wanted to impress someone. She also wanted to wear a bit more revealing clothing, like a backless top, she requested. And this was a drastic change for Alicia because she normally wore the same things every day. Often she was wearing a baggy sweatshirt, even in the summer heat in Arizona. It was just what she was comfortable in. She also asked for a $200 Iron Man comic, which it seems like she never read. Jessica said it didn't look like she ever touched it. But what's very strange is Alicia actually took the comic with her when she left the house. So now they believe it possibly was a gift for someone else. At one point before she had gone missing, Jessica noticed that Alicia was giving out some personal information to someone online or posting it online. And she had to sit down with her and have an internet safety talk. And she thought she really made it clear to Alicia what is okay to put out there and what's not. She thought she really understood. But what Jessica just didn't understand at the time, and what so many parents don't understand, is what kind of experts lurk on these platforms. These people are very good at what they do, very good at grooming and luring children offline. So in March of 2020, the Anti-Predator Project got involved. And this is a nonprofit organization dedicated to fighting human trafficking in the United States. So far, the Anti-Predator Project has rescued over 30 kids and helped over 100 families. And like I said, Jessica is now working with them, and she's working specifically with a guy named Trent Steele. But there's been a big problem with Alicia's case because she took her phone and her laptop with her.
I can tell you that Alicia taking her devices with her, her cell phone and her laptop, has made our job immensely more difficult.
Trent believes that whoever lured her away from her home that night convinced her to bring her devices with her so that they wouldn't be able to be traced. So obviously the next step is to access the platforms that she was using. They specifically know how to target children who feel like they don't belong or are looking for acceptance online. These are high-profile professional criminals who know how to do this and leave behind as little evidence as they can. On September 4th, just a few days before Alicia had disappeared, she had messaged another friend of hers on Discord. This friend of hers was a 20-year-old man in Oregon, and she told him that she sold her Xbox and that she had a boyfriend now. And then they found out that the Thursday before Alicia left, she had told another guy friend that she was gonna go to California. She was gonna run away, and asked if he wanted to go with her. Some of Alicia's friends have said to investigators that sometimes it was hard to tell when Alicia was telling the truth because sometimes she would exaggerate things. The private investigator working on this case, Trent, has explained to us that he's only had 2 cases in his career where he hasn't been able to give the family a plausible explanation for what has happened. And this is sadly one of them. And things have just gotten crazier in the world of human trafficking because now traffickers are using cryptocurrency, which is nearly impossible to trace. But real quick, I wanted to take a minute to talk about what parents can do to protect their children online. There's software out there that can show you what your child is actually doing online by mirroring everything they do and sending it to you.
There are programs you can buy. Kids Guard Pro is one you can purchase. Net Nanny is another good program you can purchase that will allow you to monitor everything that goes on your child's smart device. But those programs are not a replacement for being involved and knowing what your child's doing.
Talk to them about their games. What game are you playing? Who are you talking to on Discord? And another extremely important thing to do is educate your kids about the reality of the internet, the types of people that are out there who can be hiding behind a fake profile. When Alicia left her house, she was 4 feet 9 inches tall and 89 to 95 pounds. She's Hispanic with black hair, brown eyes, and braces. Even though Jessica is just drowning in pain from all of this, she still works to spread education for other parents and raise awareness about her daughter. She's now an outspoken advocate for victims of human trafficking. She also organizes flyer distribution events with members of the community through her Facebook group, which is called Help Find Alicia Navarro, and spreads awareness through the Facebook page Finding Alicia.
I want the community to know and to get educated on this subject. I don't think it's being talked enough, and it all starts from home.
I'm really hoping that eventually we'll know some more information, or they'll get a lead that will help them figure out what truly happened, and maybe they will be able to find Alicia one day. I send my deepest sympathies to Alicia's family. But that is going to be it for me today. Stay safe out there, and I hope you have a good day.